Good morning, my YouTube fans. Well, it's morning for me. It's 2:30ish. I'm going to steer away from my chess stuff for some time. I'm running out of things to put on chess anyway. I will go back to it, but my YouTube channel, of course, is also about science and other things. You may be wondering why I have this little animation of the sun. Well, as you know, Comet Ison is making big news and is supposed to be the comet of the century. I want to try and use my telescope as a projector to try and catch Comet Ison. Now, the reason why I'm talking about the sun and the comet at the same time is because I'm a little bit leery about doing this because I don't want everybody to jump and start looking at the sun. I want to first tell everybody that looking at the sun is extremely dangerous. I mean, even if you're just outside and you even have sunglasses on, in summertime you want to look up at the sun, it's a dangerous thing to do. You can go blind. You can and will damage your eyes if you do it all the time. And if you stare at the sun for more than a few seconds, you will, not can, you will cause permanent damage to your eyes. Now, why am I telling you this? Because the comet that we're trying to see at the moment is so close to the sun right now. I believe on November 30th we might be able to see it again, but right now, I think on Thanksgiving night actually, or Thanksgiving Day, it will be a perihelion, which means that it'll be closest to the sun. So a couple days later, November 30th, it would come around and we should be able to see it, I think, in the pre-dawn sky, or thereafter, or just before. In other words, it's very close to the sun. So in order to find the comet, you would end up looking at the sun. So what I'm going to attempt to do, and I don't know if it's going to actually be clear enough to do it, but I'm going to use my telescope to project the sun. The best, safest way to look at it is to project it. I want to stress that you cannot expect to stay not blind if you even for a split second put your eye up to an eyepiece of a telescope or binoculars while you're looking at the sun. Your eye will actually smoke. Okay? Do not look at the sun through the telescope unless you have a professional solar filter at the front of the objective lens of the telescope. They do have them. They do sell them. But the only way to look directly through a telescope at the sun is to have a professional solar filter at the front of the telescope, not in the eyepiece. Okay? So, the idea here is that I'm going to project the sun. Maybe we'll catch a few sunspots and things like that. Now, I can't promise you I'm going to do this. I'm going to try. But I may be able to sort of, on the projection screen, may be able to block out the image of the sun and see if we can spot the comet on the side of it. So between now and December, I think in the middle of December, we'll be doing it that way. And if I get good at it, and as the comet leaves the vicinity of the sun, it's going to dim out, but it'll also be going closer into the night sky. So we may be able to catch a few darkened skies, images of the sun, images of the comet that way. But in the meantime, in order to catch Comet Ison at its brightest point, that is if it survives its trip around the sun, which is within the next couple of days. It is very close to the sun. At its perihelion, I think it's like 1 million miles away from the sun, which is peanuts, considering that the Earth is 93 million miles away. In any case, I cannot stress enough, because if I'm thinking about making these videos to show you the comet, I cannot stress enough that you should not look at the sun. You cannot expect not to go blind if you continue to look at the sun. Do not look at the sun directly. Do not point any binoculars or small telescope at the sun at all unless you know what you're doing. Solar filters, or if you know how to project it. So I'm going to pause this for a moment, and I'll show you the telescope I'm going to use. So here we go. I'm going to pause. Let me see. What's the pause button here? I don't even know if that's paused. Let me see if I paused it. No. Okay, let's try that one. Yep. How about do it this way? Okay, so this is the telescope that I own, and I'll be using it to project the sun. The viewfinder is removable, and I won't be using the viewfinder because that is a small telescope in itself, and you could accidentally look through that by accident. So the idea here is that I'm going to try to catch the comet in the glare of the sun by projecting it. I don't know if I can do it, but if I'm going to make this video and if I'm going to do that, I want to warn everybody first. I don't want to be responsible for making these videos and all of a sudden everybody goes out and starts staring at the sun trying to find the comet. So there you have it, and wish me luck. I don't know if I can actually accomplish this. So there you have it. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe.